Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. This is Pamela, and you are watching Pam Entertainment TV, where we review movies, television series, and incidents in pop culture to see how those incidents may or may not affect our daily lives. Listen, been gone for a minute. Now I'm back with the jump off. Listen, we're going to be going over day 7, day 8 of the Jonathan Majors trial. Baby, we done got some bombshells that done was blown at us today and yesterday. So what I'm going to do is do an overview. You can check out Kat's channel. Um, you can check out Dr. Heinz's channel. You can check out Chillmonger's channel. You can check out uh, the Dre Mack Show. You could check out those channels for the in-depth reviews of what happened. I'm just gonna hit these 2 days an overview because, like I said, I've been out of commission, been doing, you know how lifes, and so I had to have my attention someplace else. But honey, I'm going to go over with you because I told you all that I was going to be following this case, and we were going to go with the good things, the bad things, the indifferent things. We're going to follow this trial, and we are going to report it as the stuff has come out. So Grace Jabari, who is the accuser, who accused Jonathan Majors of DV, she was cross-examined by Priya Chaudhry. Now, from what I have looked at through these tweets with Pilar Melendez, with Ben Cochran, with Josh Russell, that she really went in and asked her questions. It looks like Ms. Jabari was on the stand and she kind of held her own. But uh, Priya asked her a lot of different questions about being very specific going through that day about there was an incident when they were at the because they went out to dinner on the 24th. They went to a play and then they went to dinner and then they were on their way back home. But while they were in the restaurant, looks like Priya was going over the fact that Mr. Bari or insinuating that Mr. Bari may have a drinking problem. She went back and talked about didn't Mr. Majors go to the bathroom and you kind of followed him to the bathroom and then you went back to the table and drunk your drink. There was video evidence of that. She talked about going over that night, uh, grabbing the phone. She talked about chasing Mr. Majors down the street. She talked about all these different things. She talked about her being at the club. She talked about her using her hand while she was at the club. She talked about, pulling out credit cards, paying for shots, vaping. She played the fuller video, and I think she probably played the video that the Insider had shown out to the public months ago. So she went really in depth on showing her step by step how she was. I think they ended, let me see. They showed video evidence of the cut behind her ear, her fractured finger. Uh, says here, this is Molly Crane Newman had asked, Chaudhry asked whether she screamed during the alleged assault. So it's a whole lot of different things that went on. But apparently, what went on is that Priya was a little too aggressive uh, in her cross examination, and that there was a door opened for some text messages from this September because Priya fought so hard to keep that information out, but that information ended up coming back in because remember, the prosecution had the 115-page document outlining an incident that happened in September in London, and there was a talk that there was a hospital stay. So let's go over. Let me pull my thing up. We're gonna go over these texts, what these texts were, and talk about them. So I'm reading this from Vulture. It was written by Jennifer Zahn. It says here the headline Disturbing Text Messages Unsealed in Jonathan Majors Trial. Disturbing text messages between Jonathan Majors and his ex, Grace Jabari, have been unsealed as evidence in his domestic violence case. According to the copies of the messages from the court filings reviewed by People, Majors encouraged Jabari not to get medical treatment for her physical injuries that he seemingly caused. This is 6 months before the March 25th incident. And here is what they quote as the text say. I fear you have no perspective of what could happen if you go to the hospital, he texted her in September 2022. They will ask you questions, and as I don't think you actually protect us, it could lead to an investigation even if you do lie and they suspect something. Now, this is what a text that Jonathan Majors is said to have texted to Miss Jabari. Let me see if they give us. Let me see. Da, 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 da. Jabari responded that if she went to the doctor, she would say she bumped her head. She said that she would wait another day, but noted that she couldn't sleep and needed stronger painkillers. That's all. Why would I tell them what really happened when it's clear I want to be with you? She asked. So these are actual text messages that were going back. Now, what do they have to do with the incident on March 25th? Again, as I said it earlier, during the cross that Priya did with Grace Jabari, there was some information that she asked Grace Jabari about, well, why didn't you go to the, if you needed help, why didn't you go to the police? If you needed help or think they were there, why didn't you get any help? And that line of questioning, they were able to open the door. This is why she didn't go, because of the fact that there are text messages where he made mention of the fact that uh, uh, if you go, there'll be questioning, and you don't want to protect us and protect our relationship and protect me or things like that. So I thinking that is where uh, Priya was just a little too aggressive with her reporting on that part. And so now that has come up. So if it's come up here, other things are going to come up. Now, let's see. They also say that because you remember earlier in the what was it? Maybe when she first testified, she mentioned that Jonathan Majors had threatened suicide. So here is a quote from well, it's a text that he had written to her. He said he Majors threatened suicide in a conversation texting. Now, I will qualify this. These text messages are not in a string of order. These were highlighted. I do know that the other texts were redacted, but these were the texts that were highlighted because Priya asked her, "Well, if the cops was there, you should have asked for help." And so here's what they said: Majors threatened suicide in the conversation texting. I need love too, or maybe I'm such a monster and a horrible man I don't deserve it, and I should just kill myself. In this way, my existence is miserable. I want to die. Jabari said she wouldn't see a doctor if he didn't feel safe or trust her, reiterating, I promise you, I would never mention you, but understand your fear. Per the cut, Majors also pointed out that she had not hugged him that morning. After again degrading himself as a monster who was not capable of love, he declared that he was no longer just contemplating suicide. I'm killing myself soon. Jabari told him he couldn't say that. She would have to tell someone. She also apologized for not hugging him. These September 22 texts were deemed inadmissible as evidence. Major is on trial because of a separate incident, the alleged assault of Jabari in a taxi in March 2023. He has denied this, claiming that she actually assaulted him. But during cross-examination, Major's legal team pressed Jabari why she told emergency personnel that she didn't remember how she was injured in the March incident. A judge ruled that this opened the door for the September 2022 text messages to be shared on the grounds that they might provide background information or explanation. The texts were displayed to the jury on Friday, with Jabari reading some of the messages in the record. into the record. She began crying and was unable to continue, so Assistant District Attorney Kelly Galloway finished for her. So that's what happened for these 2 days at in the court hearing. So as you go and you look through the headlines, uh, reports and other bloggers who hadn't even been paying attention to this case are now reporting about these text messages. So how do you all think that how do you think that makes him look? And how do you think these text messages being read to the jury now? Because remember, the judge had ruled in the first day that all this information was not going to be able to come in, but she was going to be able to give the jury background information, and she alluded to a lot of this stuff in her background information. So for my lawyer people out there, so all that background information that she alluded to before, is that entered into evidence now or entered into the record that the jury can consider when trying this case, since they're able to use those text messages uh, for this? Let me know. What do you all think about? I know her friend Holly testified, and there are some time situations that are going on between the fact that between before Jonathan Majors arrived back at his home, that Mr. Jabari, uh, when he arrived, she was passed out in the bathroom in the closet. We're not really sure about. I'm not really sure where it was, but it was in the bath. They say it was the closet. She was passed out in the closet. Um, But there was a time where she had been on the phone with her, several times, even up to, what was it, 13 minutes before the police came in. So was she actually passed out, or what was going on there? She was on the phone. Also, they had the arresting officer there, uh, who testified that about the strangulation part, that there was no adequate strangulation or anything like that. And he testified, but I bet you he was ready to get up out of there because he didn't want to have anybody talk about the incompetence of what was going on with his job. But anyway, tell me what you all are thinking about these past 2 days. What do you think is going to? How do you think the prosecution is going to proceed? Because they're going into the weekend with a win. So when you look at the cases in the whole, the defense had for the first 3 days, probably the first 4 days, particularly with the prosecution on direct, the defense had a good case. Uh, what do you think that these text messages? What do you think is going on in the minds of the jurors at this point? Y'all let me know down here in the comments because I really want to hear what you all are thinking in regards to this, and how damaging do you think these texts are to his case? Let me know. Let me know. Also, what do you think the driver is going to say? Because they were getting ready to bring in the driver as the witness late in the afternoon, but decided because there's this language barrier that they're saying. Apparently, he's what is he? Pakistani, Urdu, in Urdu, a Pakistani language, a dialect in Pakistan. I'm thinking it is, but don't quote me on that. Because if they've had conversations with the driver before, clearly everyone knew that he needed a translator. But I don't know if his English is I don't know how his English, because we don't know who this driver is, never seen him, anything like that. So we're waiting to see that. Uh, who else? Because after the driver, it's going to be the people out in the streets, and I think at that point, that's pretty much all the witnesses as far as the prosecution is going to bring up. I'm curious as the witnesses that Priya is going to bring up. Uh, I'm curious about that. I'm really curious about the witnesses that they're going to bring up. But y'all let me know what y'all think. that's all I got. Like I said, there are other people that are following this and they have more in-depth coverage. Like I said, life be lifing for me. And I hadn't been able to follow it in the past couple of days, but I did want to come up and do a brief recap on day 7 and day 8. And y'all let me know what y'all think. Please leave a comments down below. Thank you all so much for rocking with me and as we go through this Jonathan Majors trial. We started it and we are going to finish it. Y'all, that's all I got. Might sound like a little rambling, and it probably was, but I did want to get out here and talk about it. So please tell a friend, tell a kin, tell your coworker, tell that heifer that you can't stand that I'm over here making these videos, okay? We're going to get up bright and early to see what's going on Monday morning, to see how many more witnesses the prosecution has to get through the case. And then they're going to rest and Priya is going to start her case. But I'm wondering where she's going to go with this because I'm curious of her strategy right now. I'm wondering if she's at home uh, kicking her feet up, putting her Kazakhstan light blue garb back in the thing and come out swinging like she should for this case because she took a L today by questioning Grace so hard that she had evidence that she fought so hard not to have entered in. But anyway, like I said, tell a friend, tell a kin, tell that coworker, tell that heifer you can't stand that I'm over here making these videos. And as always, people, bye bye.